Constantine Maroulis. Hey, glad to be spending your Saturday morning here. This is the A Game. I'm Rob Acampora with, of course, coffee in hand, ready to go. Our friends at Death Wish Coffee providing the caffeine for our podcast this morning. We appreciate that. The man to my right, not that he needs an introduction, but we're going to give him a long one. Yeah, I know you give me a look, but I got to run it all down. There was the thing called American Idol. There is the Tony Award nominated performance for Rock of Ages. He followed it up with more nominations for Jekyll and Hyde. He is a movie actor. He is a producer. He is also a proud dad and getting ready to hit the road again with his live music, which, by the way, brings us to the new music. First time he's recorded in a very long time with all of that and a lot to talk about. Outside in the wilderness, Constantine Maroulis. Thanks for checking in, brother. How you doing?
Thank you. Thanks for having me, bud. How's it going?
I'm doing well, and I know I appreciate taking the time. I know this is a crazy time with everything going on Rock of Ages wise, and the live performance is going to be next week. I mean, you're very involved in the organizing of all this, I would imagine.
Yeah, really excited. Yes, April 24th, big show. Not like anything you've seen during the shutdown in the last 15 months. We're talking a massive live rock and roll experience. From both coasts, from LA to New York, all the all-stars from the Rock of Ages world and family. A lot of celebrities are stopping by too. A lot of them. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, really excited. It started off as like my concert, and then it evolved into this big thing, which I'm very happy about because I'm very proud of this this title and this iconic show that it's become. And I think it's exactly what we all need right now. We need a little Rock of Ages in our life, a little just sexy, good old fashioned mid to late 80s Reagan era good time.
Ming, if you give me photo one so we can give a little promo to that. And again, you can get this through stellartickets.com and be a part of the live broadcast that way. It's the All-Star Reunion. As a matter of fact, give me photo number 4. There's a few of the names in here. And 2 I recognized right away. Laura Bell Bundy, when I was working in country radio a few years back, she had a couple of hit songs there. And then the 4th name down, because of NBC series The Wall, he's the host of, but he was also part of the LA cast, Chris Hardwick, who had an incredible moment years back when Rock of Ages came out as a film, and he was at the San Diego Comic-Con, and he suddenly got Tom Cruise and him doing this duet that kind of went viral. If you get a chance, find it on YouTube. It's worth the time.
Hardwick is amazing. He's had an incredible career,
very much so, yeah.
both as an internet entrepreneur too. I mean, I think the whole nerd is what is his sort of thing, the nerdgasm or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what he made his most of his money on. Let's put it that way. Yeah. He was ahead of the curve. Let's put it that way. He really was.
Well, he married a Hearst also, so I think he's doing all right.
Yeah, I would say so.
Literally married, Lydia Hearst, so I think he'll be all right. But he's actually a really funny actor, but it's just sort of not the path that he really took. He was the original Stacey Jacks in the show, and some of the early crude kind of scene work and videos I've seen, he was awesome. Him and Kyle Gass from Tenacious D were, and Dan Finnerty, an amazing original cast for sure. Now that is like the sort of early workshop productions in LA before it really became like a book musical, before me.
Right, before you. But that really made, in a lot of levels, all the work up into that, it established you even further. But there was so much before that, which we'll get to. But I also get the feeling Jekyll and Hyde was so important to follow up Rock of Ages, because it was sort of that, if there was any critics that thought, okay, this was a one-trick pony that Constantine Maroulis was doing, you proved all the critics wrong, although you got incredible write-ups by the New York Times and the Associated Press with Rock of Ages, and they were just as complimentary with Jekyll and Hyde.
Well, thank you. Look, I grew up as an actor. I grew up as a musical theater geek, but it's funny that I got to play Jekyll and Hyde because I always had this sort of dual personality disorder, maybe, where I was like total musical theater geek, but I really had like a real rock and roll spirit as well, and not just like theater rock. I could stand in front of like any band and rip, whatever vocals needed. And so kind of getting chances to fuse the two of them together was always a dream and a passion of mine. I think, before American Idol, I graduated the Boston Conservatory, Berklee College of Music, a prestigious conservatory program, for acting and music. And I was touring in the Broadway show Rent all around the world. And so sure, I'm on the biggest season of American Idol ever, and then I end up on Broadway. I think people assume like, oh, he's just getting stunt cast and all of that, but really it was sort of a slow burn up into those moments. And yes, getting a chance to do Jekyll and Hyde, although it's such a polarizing title,
Right.
it's actors and people in our community love it and want to do it, but the critics are tough on that because it's a sci-fi musical
Right.
basically, and it's not real, like that can't really happen, so people just want to be like, that can't happen. It's like, no shit, no shit. We don't just like experiment on ourselves and become this like monster. It's more about the sort of symbolism um and really the story of Jekyll and Hyde really allowed for us to have superheroes and Marvel and all of these characters. That I probably without the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, we wouldn't have Batman, we wouldn't
Right.
have any of these people. So
Do you get the feeling that production also, when you go down then 10 years over, and as you talk about, hey, you can't do that, with some of the critics saying that about Broadway, but then we're starting to see projects that you never would have expected on Broadway and they become successful. So it's sort of kind of opened the creative minds to say, hey, we can take certain things that you never would have expected to be on Broadway and then put it out there and create this incredible phenomenon and an incredible experience for somebody to take in.
absolutely. No, that's a great observation. Broadway, there are no rules anymore. And I think it really started
Yes.
with shows like Rock of Ages. Then you had
Yeah.
Book of Mormon, and people are like, you
Mhm.
can't do that on Broadway. But
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
they did.
Yeah.
Then, American Idiot, you had U2 taking a shot with Spider-Man, which I actually thought the original, before they went and changed it, there was just so much press and so much around that show and the budget and whatnot. It was really an incredible event, I thought. And I really loved the show. I thought it was very cool and sort of, it had this sort of Greek, tragedy kind of heightened element to it. And the music was very cool. It wasn't like, with or without you. It was like all this kind of B-side U2 stuff, which I thought was really cool, actually. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
So for sure, man, there are no rules on the Broadway anymore. And,
Mhm.
there'll always be room for like classics and Music Man coming back with Hugh Jackman and all
Right.
of this kind of stuff. Like we really need that, but there'll always be a market for that. And but there's so much young, interesting talent out there with great, with something great to say. And so I'm always looking for like the next original cool piece for sure. That breaks all the rules.
Are you starting to get into the producing end of it? I was kind of reading that you were trying to produce a Broadway production coming up, before, I guess, before the pandemic hit.
I have been producing. Yeah, I've been always involved in just putting great people together,
Right.
great talent, and I have a knack for like raising money for things I'm passionate about. I was an above title Tony nominated producer of the revival of Spring Awakening.
I mean,
Duncan
yeah,
Sheik, of course, is the composer of that, and
very
the
talented man.
yeah, incredible. The original, of course, with Leah Michelle and Jonathan Groff and all of them.
Mhm.
I saw, I think, the second night, not opening night, but the next night, and the buzz, and it was just an incredible show. And I read the Wiedekind play in drama school, and I just thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Someone growing up with Rent and Jesus Christ Superstar. So it's rare that a show elicits a revival so soon after it's closed. But this production directed by Michael Arden, a dear friend of mine for over 20 years. We were apprentices together at Williamstown, which was like a big deal for young actors. And we were there with like Chris Pine and all these
Oh,
insane people. It was just crazy. That was when he was Michael Moore still. That's his real name. And Michael Arden is an incredible actor and singer, but he directed this version of Spring Awakening at Deaf West. Deaf West is this incredible deaf acting company on the West Coast, and they've had a lot of successful shows come to Broadway and great productions. And this particular version of Spring Awakening was just so beautiful, and I just knew I needed to be a part of it. So yeah, so I plan to work on some more stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be interesting navigating the reintroduction to
and the parameters that come
live.
with it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but if I'm passionate about something, for sure I'll get behind it.
How important is it for Broadway to try to get back to normal, especially with the New York economy? Because I don't think people really realize across the country how much Broadway means, not only to the actors, to the people who work on Broadway, to the restaurants that have been around Broadway. We understand the pandemic, but as we try to get back to normal, everybody wants to try to revive. Everybody wants to try to feel normal, and trying to get Broadway back to at least a certain level. I mean, obviously, like we said, there are going to be some parameters you're going to have to deal with. But how important is it to try to get back, well, maybe not quickly, but realistically, hopefully by 2022? Because I keep hearing September, maybe October, Broadway will reopen on a small level.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I've been sort of privy to some of the conversations. To me, I think shows that have had a ton of success, that have, been in the black for a long time, and recouped, 10 times over, 100 times over. Shows like, Wicked and Hamilton and such.
Yeah.
Maybe they can roll it out there. Maybe they can they can be, it's like in Glory, when they knew that company was going to go into battle and take a lot of casualties.
Yes.
I think that the first couple of shows up are going to take a lot of, loss, and if they're willing to do that, to sort of just feed, the beast a little bit, maybe operate at 30%, 40%, they're going to take a loss, they're just going to. Maybe some shows can do that, most can't. They just can't survive that. But you're right, it's not just about actors or producers or writers. It's front of house, it's stage crew, it's nationally, it's all the regional theaters that the tours feed, all the performing arts centers, all the academic programs that they back, all of the restaurant and hospitality, but so many of the college programs, and it's vital. It's vital that we bring back the arts, because it's, it's just a crucial part of our existence,
Completely.
and we are in severe danger, definitely, of I don't know, losing it forever, and having to start all over again in a different way. I mean, so for sure, I'm optimistic, but there are a lot. There's a lot of obstacles ahead of us, for sure. Yeah, a lot of people hurting very much.
Yeah, fingers crossed for everybody on this. Constantine Maroulis is here on the A Game. Okay, we mentioned American Idol before. Yes, just to give you the idea of the numbers, how record-setting it was. Nearly 28 million people on average were watching American Idol in the season that Constantine was in, which Bo Bice did win. Sorry. I know your friends
didn't win.
As I kid.
He
but
wishes he won.
Yeah. Love it.
In fact, it's really funny. It's like everyone somehow sort of associates the two of us together, I think, because we were a little older and we had long hair and we were kind of into rock and roll and such. So, but so many
stylistically, you were so different, in my opinion.
God,
maybe I'm missing something.
Completely different. Like,
thank you. Yes, exactly.
People all together. I'm from New York City and he's from like Alabama, you know. So, but so many people are like, runner up, Constantine Maroulis, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Sure, sure.
I'm not even going to correct them at that point. It's just like, I think so many people just associate, that with me, so that it's just whatever. But yeah, Carrie Underwood, obviously, a superstar, and an incredible time in our lives. Just kind of got into it, and I had no idea what I was getting into. I had been in
Sure.
conservatory, I was on tour with Rent, I had a band and whatnot, and for me, I think that kind of played into it. I knew there were a couple of seasons of Idol, but I just needed a gig.
Right.
I wasn't going to be coming back to Rent. They were bringing in a new tour cast, so I was like, shit, okay. Well, I'm going to move back to New York and work on my band. And an old girlfriend kind of coerced me to come down to DC with her on the $10 Chinatown bus. And like as soon as I got there, they just had like the cameras on me. They're like, "What is your story? What is your deal?" And it was when the whole world was watching, for sure. It was on 3 nights a week for
Yeah.
what, 4 or 5 months. I mean, it was just it felt like we were on forever. And now it's like a few weeks. It's very different, but it's a different world. There's so much content out there. But it's still a great platform. But for me, yeah, for sure, I knew Carrie was going to win, and it was just going to be about like, okay, what am I going to do with this opportunity?
Right. Exactly.
And Rock of Ages sort of ended up becoming my Jesus Take the Wheel.
Do you know what? That's a very interesting way of putting it. Very interesting
Yeah.
way. Before you got there, though, I mean, is this true that the creators of The Bold and the Beautiful just saw you on American Idol, and the role you wound up doing for The Bold and the Beautiful was kind of created for you, especially for that arc that you did?
Yeah, for sure. I got to know them pretty well, and we created a fun arc on the show. And the soap opera game is an interesting one for sure. But I had been in The Wedding Singer on Broadway. That was really my Broadway debut. After American Idol, I came into the show shortly after it opened, and I played Sammy, sort of like the supporting comedic lead, to the Adam Sandler part of Robbie, and we had a great run with The Wedding Singer. I just love that show, and of course, it's like I'm known for all these like '80s type of shows, I guess it seems, but and then I was working on a record, my I guess my debut album after American Idol was self-titled. It's just called Constantine. And so I got a chance to perform a bunch of my tunes on Bold and the Beautiful. And we recreated this arc with like their young kind of like ingenue who was a singer. But then I think when I got there, they're like, you might be a little old for her because she plays really young, even though she's not like a lot younger than me.
Right.
Maybe like 10 years or so.
You know what, man? Give me photo number 2 because we'll kind of flash back to it. I mean, it's like
Oh,
it's not. There's a flash from the past, but I'm like going when you look at it from that angle, I'm like, nah, it doesn't look like that dramatic. But I'm like, I get in a sense, it's like going, yeah, he's a little older. He's not a lot older, and it's the soap opera world. We see kind of couples that are like 25 years apart and they wind up together.
Oh my God, for sure. Yeah, that's a weird picture, but that's still, I think, from a video that we shot of one of my
Yes, it was.
tunes.
I caught it off the video. Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. Mackenzie is an incredible talent, and I'm a big fan of hers. She was in the Into the Woods movie also. Ooh. She had a good part in that. I think she was Rapunzel. And yeah, she's a super talented gal for sure. And it was a lot of fun. Definitely what I like about the soap opera world is a great opportunity to just be on camera a lot. Right. And and they're moving. Right. They're like, okay, we got it. And it's like, one take, really? All right. So, and just new scripts every day, and just every morning, new stuff, and you just have to be ready to rock. So it was just nice to acclimate to being like on a set with a scripted content, and definitely it was a lot of fun. And the soap opera sort of fan base is not very dissimilar to like the American Idol fan base. A lot of,
I keep hearing they're very loyal and very rabid.
a lot of housewives,
Yeah.
so it was good times.
No, I've interviewed my share of soap opera people over the last few months, and everybody says the same thing. One of the loyalist audiences you're going to have, and one of the best educations you can get is working in a soap opera, because you learn so much, because you are reading the scripts every day. It can change on the fly, and it does help with the next level, whether you do television or movies like you've been doing. You got a few movies out right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, definitely lucky enough to put a few films in the can before the shutdown.
Right.
A couple of indie kind of fun thrillers. Two films directed by Steve Stanulis. One called Fifth Borough, with some sort of gangster casting couch cats that you would recognize from some of the kind of films around the way.
I was about to say, I recognize one name now. I think there's actually a connection with you and Tara Reid. Did you guys go to the same school or something?
Tara Reid was in the Chronicle of a Serial Killer with
the other
me,
one,
and DMX is in that movie too.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of ironic. I should explain. Constantine was going to come on with me last week due to some complications. Ironically, a few hours after he had canceled, DMX announces that he's passed away of the hemorrhage that he had with a heart attack.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? What just to give some people an idea? Did you spend some time with DMX? Yeah.
He didn't announce it, but because
right, but his people did. I could say.
I didn't. We were not on set at the same time.
That happened. So, that's what I wanted to ask.
He made a lot of good movies, actually. Belly and Romeo Must Die, and he was a really complex and talented guy. And I mean, really a true original. I grew up with hip hop. I love hip hop, and I've always loved DMX. And dude, hits. He had hits. He had a lot of issues and whatnot, and that's a bummer. But that's why I'm some 18 months sober now. I was never an addict, but I just quit drinking, quit smoking, quit everything, and I feel much better. And I'm only 5 or 6 years younger than him, but it wore him out, man. That addiction. And for sure, Tara Reid is from Brooklyn originally, but I grew up in Wyckoff, New Jersey, and I came back out here about 5 years ago. I have a home here now too, where I'm raising my daughter. And Tara Reid is from Wyckoff, New Jersey originally also. And she and I, I think we kissed in a Truth or Dare in like middle school.
Yeah, like a little peck, because it is middle school.
And I'd run into her here and there in LA when she was like really big, like after the American Pie stuff, and like the birth of like the paparazzi boom. That was kind of in and around my time on the Idol, when I was like sneaking out like every night on Idol and like getting into trouble in LA and stuff. It was good times. But she used to be really just, when we were kids, we were like, oh my God, Tara Reid, she was so hot. And there you go.
I want to go back a second, because when we were talking about DMX and you're talking about your, getting into sobriety the last 18 months, bravo for that. When something like this happens, like with DMX, it sounded like it hits you hard to kind of go, hey, you know what? I think I am making the right decisions on my life. I'm taking the right path, and I need to kind of stay on that and feel good about where I'm going. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. You think about, especially with all of this that's going on, I'm so grateful that I made a decision before this shutdown.
Right.
Because if I was drinking and smoking still, like during all of this, God knows like where I would be. Because it would be just so easy to wake up and just be like,
that's a great point. Exactly.
Fucking play video games and just hang out and get fat and just be like, fuck it, the world's ending. And but that's not what I did. I stayed productive. I was teaching. I'm writing. I circled the wagons. I took care of my kid. I'm chipping away. I wrote practically a whole new record. And I just put out a record. I already have like material for another record. So. The money's not coming in and such, and I got a lot of expenses, some baby mama expenses and some things, and an aging, an elderly parent, surviving parent, and big family. So it's a lot, but it's allowed me to feel like I don't know, positive and optimistic. And whereas like I feel like if you get really caught up into weed and liquor, there's such depressants, and again, like I have friends that have dealt with real addiction and real problems in life.
Right.
That was not me. It was just a choice I needed to make because I just didn't like where I was at.
That's
Then
fair.
and I started it, probably the September before the breakdown. So
Yeah.
the shutdown, the breakdown, is that a Freudian slip? I don't know.
It's slightly.
The breakdown,
Coming
breakdown,
down.
and
Come on, give it to me.
yeah, and yeah, and so yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
I get the feeling your daughter, Milena, is sort of like a driving force. You're a proud dad. And what is she, like 11, I'm guessing? Somewhere around there? 10,
10.
11?
She's
10.
10. She was born on Christmas Eve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it about 10 minutes before Christmas Eve, but and it's just easy to say Christmas Eve.
Oh, absolutely. But now it's sink in a little bit where it's like, oh my God, she's double digits now. Soon the teen years.
Yeah, it does. It's heavy. She's, um, growing really fast, and it goes really fast. And, uh, it's tough because, we lost my dad maybe about 7 years plus or so ago. And then, my mom's going to be like 86 this summer.
God bless her.
And yeah, so you start to think like, wow, as my kids getting older, my
Yeah.
mom is getting really old, and that's tough, and I didn't know my grandparents. I was very young when they all passed away. So I didn't, so I try to keep, I consciously came back out to the suburbs so my mom could be a big part of the kids' life for sure.
Good decision. It sounds like, and you are also a proud Greek man. By the way, for people who don't know, the bicentennial was recently 200 years of Greek independence. And it's funny, I forgot to say Yasis when we started this because I was practicing a little bit of Greek to kind of go, I was like going, and I forgot to use it at the beginning. I'm an idiot.
That's okay.
That's about
okay.
as far as I know Greek. Yeah, that's as far as I go, unfortunately.
We'll take it. No, yeah, proud Greek American, big part of my upbringing, proud of my heritage, and definitely it's a big part of sort of like the fabric that makes up me.
Right.
I may just have to move us inside because this thing is like sucking up my battery real good.
Okay.
But we're good. We're good.
All right.
We'll be moving. We'll be a moving picture for a minute.
There we go. A moving picture with Constantine Maroulis. I think that's a first. We've never had somebody move in the middle of a broadcast. I like this. But
no, but definitely is a big part of me, and we have Greek Easter coming up, and this year it was really at a different time than the normal Easter. Let's turn off this thing. I got the funeral here. The funeral. No, it's not the funeral of Prince Philip. I had blasting in here, so. But yeah, definitely big parts. I'm looking forward to Greek Easter, and we're gonna have a big old. We're gonna have a big lamb, cooking on the spit and all of.
Yeah,
we're gonna do all that stuff. Yeah, I'll be. I'm leaving for LA in a couple of days, so when I get back, it'll be nice to gather everyone and rock it out for Greek Easter.
Looking forward to that. Good stuff. This is Constantine Maroulis here on the A Game. We will talk about the new album or the album that came out last summer in a few, up to the segment that I call Random Shots. These are questions that can come from just about anywhere. And normally I would do a shot, but it's too early in the morning. I'll stick with the coffee. So thank you for coming on, Dean.
Thank you.
With that in mind, here's where I'm going to start. This came from imdb.com, and it said something that you do. You love washing dishes, you call it therapeutic. Is that actually true? Does that still hold water today, or is that just a bunch of malarkey? What is it?
No, I do I never use the dishwasher. I always wash dishes. I like it. I'm into it. I sort of am obsessive about it. And yeah, although I have a gal in my life that she's the type of woman that like, before you're even finished with your plate, she's already pulling it away from you so she can wash it. So she's worse than I am, and it's just like Can I finish?
Hey, look, I
She's
love
like,
you, but I mean, I still got. I'm hungry here. Come on.
yeah, man, it's funny. But yeah,
Um,
I'm into that. I don't know how people get those facts on those IMDb pages and all the Wikipedia. Like, so much of it is just horse shit.
yeah, I was about to
And
ask you because I've looked at your Wikipedia page. In your opinion, how much of it is true? Would you say it's like 50%, 75%? I mean, if you
I
got
don't
to give a
even know
percentage.
what it says on there. I don't even look
Okay, fair
anymore. I
enough.
don't.
Well, look, I
But
got you here. So I can ask. There you go.
I think people can just write whatever they want on there and then like submit it, and it just post or something, which is kind of odd. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah. But it's not everybody gets to the source. But at the same token, it's like if you don't know this person, don't be posting shit about them. Call me crazy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and then they make it super hard to remedy anything. Maybe not so much on Wikipedia, but IMDb is really hard to get like credits corrected. And I mean, I'm in 4 films right now. I have Either Side of Midnight, huge director Roger Spottiswoode,
Hmm.
at festivals right now, and Dark State, and like I don't even think they're posted on there. So you have to be like, and or you really have to like pay for every, I don't know, upgrade
Right.
to, I'm not paying for any of that shit.
Right. Now, here's one thing that was on IMDb, and I'm gonna since you were kind of mentioning, give me photo 5. There's a web series thing called Psychosis that you're involved in.
No, I don't even know what that is.
See,
Don't
now
even.
that's interesting. So
Yeah,
that was on your see that's on your bio feed, and I'm sitting there going, okay, and it has you as the star, and it's a 12 episode thing. So it's like, see, this is why we ask questions.
that was some writer from Europe, talked a big game about that all coming together. That was years
Right.
ago, and then it just none of it happened. Um,
And then they have it out there like it's coming. You know what I'm saying? So I can sense
yeah,
the frustration, and I can understand that completely. That's got to be like, yeah, but I got this project going on, and you're not even looking at that. I am so sorry. If I had known, I would
that
be
looks
talking.
like I mean, that graphic too. It looks like it's like
And I got that
the
off of
birth
IMDb,
of
by the way.
the internet kind of artwork on there, right there. Terrible.
Boy, I feel
I,
terrible. I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. No, I don't
Okay.
mind. I'm glad to address it.
Oh no, I appreciate you doing that. Let me ask you this: what is harder, being a producer or being an idol correspondent? Because you were an idol correspondent a few times.
Oh, I love doing the sort of, yeah, I grew up, I loved being newsy. Um, I don't know what it is. I was always drawn to broadcasters and the performance of that, and always found the women to be like super femme and sexy and stuff too. And um, I just love the sort of, I don't know. I always observed how people on news and broadcasting um, just worked and performed and went about their stuff. And
Right.
so for me, it kind of came natural. I always have a lot to say. I've ended up on so many pundit panels over the years on different shows, and
True.
definitely for the idol stuff, because of my background at conservatory and how I could be analytical about it. I got tons of work doing that stuff, and it was just a cool way to kind of stay on TV and do things. Yeah, I did tons of it, from Fox News to Fox National to the
I
local
remember.
Fox here.
I remember Good Day New York on Fox 5 here locally in the New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah, TV Guide. I had my own show on Yahoo,
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
on VH1, or one of those other MTV channels there too, and a lot of fun, a lot of fun, and I dig it. There the show doesn't necessarily, well, now with social media, it doesn't really elicit that kind of you know, I don't know, need for people to like talk about it.
Yeah,
There's
because of all the avenues with social media, where when you were doing it then, this was like really the only avenues. Now there's a ton more avenues available.
right. So like,
Yeah.
a couple of big outlets will put out some stuff about Idol. If it gets picked up, it gets picked up. But it's just not the same world anymore. But look, there's still people that pop off the show. Gabby Barrett's got a big song at radio that was just a
Mhm.
year or so ago.
Right.
She got a big song with Charlie Puth.
Oh yeah.
That's a big song, and you can't say that about anyone on The Voice. I've never heard of anyone on The Voice except
You make a great point.
the
As much as I'm a fan
judges.
of The Voice, yeah, as much as I'm a fan of the show, when you look carefully at the people who've been on there, how many hits? There's been a few that have gone to country, but when you look at the Billboard Hot 100 singles, how many have actually cracked the hot? Not many, not many. So therein lies the power of Idol. Still, at least will get you the exposure and potentially get you a pop hit, as opposed to The Voice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think Scary Pool Party is pretty cool. Alejandro, I think that's a kind of a cool vibe. And, you have in more recent years, you have a ton of kids that kind of went into the Christian market as well.
Yes, very true.
That have had a ton of success there. Like they're killing it.
Yeah.
And obviously you have like the Big Ten of like, the Carries and Kellys and Jen Hudson's, Lambert, Daughtry, Kat McPhee, me. No, there's a lot of established people.
And I'm not going to stroke your ego, but if you were to list the top 10, you're going to come up on the top 10 a lot. You are.
Well,
when you
thank
maybe
you.
not necessarily as a pop star, but when you talk about stars coming off Idol and your status, you're going to make a lot of top 10 lists. There's no doubt about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I was always older. I had established myself a bit, and I mean, I'm the only one that's ever originated roles on Broadway, and certainly the only to ever receive a Tony nomination. So that's kind of fun. But the stupid landline. Like, why do I even have that? Why?
We're live. This is great.
And hello.
How you doing?
I don't need any Viagra. Not right yet. Call me back in like 10 months.
That's it, really?
I don't know. And it can be fun. So I love Guarini with the Dr. Pepper commercials. He's crushing that, and a lot of fun stuff. I don't know. Someone just tagged me like watching our show.
Oh, cool!
Is this live?
Yeah, we're live on Facebook and we're live on my YouTube channel. As a matter of fact,
what do I know?
C-Mad saying still voting for Constantine to this day. Thanks, C-Mad. Thanks for chiming in. There we go.
I just saw a notification on something on Twitter, I think, that came up.
Well, see, this sets up my next question, because I had the chance to interview you about 3-4 years ago when I was doing a morning show here in Jersey. And this is when the talk of American Idol was coming to ABC. And the initial plan, as I remember, and I think you may remember this too, that they were going to do Idol, but they were going to do it a little smaller, maybe a little more budget. And the first thought was, because of all the things you've done as a correspondent, you would make a hell of a judge. And then they kind of went the other way and then spent a load of money on everybody.
They really did spend a lot of money. I don't know what happened there. I think they just, look, I love the judges. I think they're doing a great job, really. I love me some Katy Perry. My gosh. Especially when
she really has shined. I give her that. She really has.
Yeah, and I think they give great advice, and I think they are very representative of the three sort of bodies of what Idol is. You have the old school with Lionel Richie. Now remember, the original years of Idol was a lot of like sugar pie, honey bunch kind of stuff, right? So Lionel's cool with that, but then I mean, he's one of the most prolific writers of all time. Amen. He's had a 50-year career. Yes. Then you have Katy Perry, basically, honestly, arguably, maybe the biggest pop star ever. Really, I mean, look at her hits. Look at the way she's charted. I think she's got more
top 5, top 3. Can't argue it. No question.
Of bigger than Elvis, like bigger than Beatles, like top stuff, as far as like charted stuff. And then Luke Bryan represents, everything country and what it's and he's such a kind of like everyman kind of dude, and
I think that's why
so I think it's a good time.
head, yeah, the everyman. He really, and that's what he is. So I think I understand now when you put it that way. That's where the casting angle went. Getting Luke Bryan, you wanted that every guy, so to speak.
I did some mentoring in the last season at Fox. I came
Mhm.
on the show and a couple of times, and that was a lot of fun. I loved that.
Right.
Megan Michaels, Wolfnick, is a dear friend of mine, the executive producer of the show. We talk about, I'm like, come on, bring me on. Let's go. I don't even want to be on camera. I want to be backstage, like working with the contestants. There's always like a vocal coach
Yeah.
and whatnot. And, we've talked about stuff like that. Um, it just hasn't happened. I did do a bunch of stuff with Idol Across America this year,
Hmm.
mentoring a few hopefuls that were about to be heard by the judges or had already been seen by the judges or
Right.
were sort of on track. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of the Idol world for sure. And, I've definitely carved my own path, but yeah, I'm excited about what's next. And obviously Rock of Ages is a big part of my life. This concert's going to be a
Yes.
big deal. The tickets are flying. We're going to have a huge live audience watching the show, which is great. But, if you're watching right now, April 24th, that's just, a week or so from this Sunday night. I don't know. We are going live
Mhm.
with, huge Rock of Ages All-Star Reunion concert. You can go to stellartickets.com right now. You go to my website. There's tickets in my Instagram bio right now. If you use that link, I get credit for those. So do that
Oh,
at
better, absolutely.
Constantine Maroulis. And excited about that. And then I have a huge concert called Reflections airing April 30th, which is a celebration of the catalog of The Who. And
Ooh,
we pre-taped a massive concert, also like full-blown HD, great band. It's me and a bunch of Broadway stars singing the hell out of like Who music.
nice.
Really, it's rooted in Who's Next, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of Tommy, there's a lot of Quadrophenia, and that's awesome. That's therockprojectlive.com. So two of the biggest stream concerts that have ever happened during this shutdown are happening within a week of each other, the 24th and the 30th. Both will be available like online thereafter to rewatch and whatnot, but definitely go to my website to check out the details. It's gonna be awesome.
I do realize that if you do order this through Constantine's website or however you order it, you get it on demand for 24 hours. So you have plenty of opportunity to order it, watch as many times you want in 24 hours. Enjoy the experience that is coming. I
Do
got
it, do
do
it.
it, do it now. Two more questions on random shots, then we'll talk about the album. This I'm going to take offense at, but I also can understand it because I think you're a bit of a sportsman. Let me go to your Twitter feed. I'm pulling this up so I can read it. Ming, put it up here. Sam Darnold will have a better career than Zach Wilson when it's all said and done, just like Noah Syndergaard will never have the career R.A. Dickey, whom he was traded for. Now, as a Mets fan, I can't argue the point because he won a Cy Young and had one of the greatest years any knuckleballer's ever had. Amen. No question about it. That trade paid dividends and a half, in a sense, because you also traded Dickey at a premium price. But has
You
Syndergaard lived
really
up?
did. And you probably could have used him for a playoff push again that next year.
Yeah, I'm
And
not saying you're
Syndergaard
wrong.
has just been riddled with injuries. And then he kind of became Matt Harvey, with like his diva attitude. And he's like, cool, I'm on social media. What's up? I got my shirt off. And it's like, dude, just go pitch. It's cool. And, got obviously tons of talent, but I mean, just has not put it together at all. And
we
he's not like 22 anymore. So yeah, and I got to be honest, I think he's gonna flourish. You see, we've gotten obsessed with young quarterbacks coming right out of college and being
yes, very
amazing right away. And
right,
look, Giants went to a Super Bowl with Kerry Collins, well into his career. Obviously, a super talented guy, floated around a few teams,
right.
underachieved in Carolina, whatnot. They brought in a Kurt Warner, who was okay, for them, and then he went on to win MVPs thereafter. So it's like, you know, look, I get it. We're all about what are you doing for me lately. I think
Right.
Darnold has talent. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Jets effed him up. They didn't know how to use him. They didn't put talent around him. They were, changed coaches on him. I think he's with a great head coach now. He's got supporting players. They're going to bring in, if they're healthy, Carolina, they're going to be pretty good. And dude, watch his tape. He's got great tape. I mean, the guy, he might be a real winner. I think the Zach Wilson hype is very high.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, I like my boy Skip Bayless. He's people don't like him, but I love him. And, he's kind of like not that hyped on any of these quarterbacks. And I think I have to agree with him. Yeah, I think outside of the number one pick, who seems, quite prototypical, although he came out the other day and said that he'd be fine walking away from football like tomorrow. And it's like, what? But look, I'm all in on my Giants. I want the Jets to be successful. I do. I think it's fun when both teams, the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks or the Nets. I think it's great when they're all in the mix.
Yes,
not a big hockey fan, but yes, I'm Giants. I'm true blue. But so my comment was just putting it out there. But I'm all in on Daniel Jones. I think that I'm happy he's so undervalued and underrated out there. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. The dude's got insane talent. Now he's got some supporting players. They got to fix that offensive line, and I think they have. And last year was tough, man. I mean, it was tough for everybody. Imagine being like a second-year quarterback, having like a rookie coach, a rookie line, no offseason, COVID everywhere. I mean, only freaks like Brady who like practiced the whole year, breaking every rule, didn't care, went to a team that was already talented, can like be successful, And I love Brady, and we beat him twice in the Super Bowl, so I can love him. And
that's true.
So I love the sports. It's such an awesome like break from what I do in life, and it's just fun. It's just been in my blood. And but you're like a South Jersey guy or no?
I grew up in Monmouth County. I grew up in Monmouth. I was a Jets fan, so I am still a Jets fan. That's why I looked at that tweet, and I'm sitting here going, this would be the Jets' luck. Because as Jets fans, we know pain and suffering all too well. This would be our luck that we trade him to Carolina, reunite him with Robbie Anderson, our former deep threat, and have them two suddenly go, Darnold to Anderson for about 15 times during the season. Carolina has a winning year. We get the quarterback from Brigham Young, who had one great year. Remember something. Dwayne Haskins had one great year. Where is he now? Mitch Trubisky had one great year in college. Where is he now? That's what scares me.
Look, man, just like in my business, these guys are one good year away from being right back in the mix. I mean, think of all the guys that we grew up with in the 90s that were, it was rare that a team, a handful of like the flagship teams had like the same quarterback for a long time. But there were so many guys that like floated around and had like really good careers. And guys change teams and that's cool. I think look, Haskins, that coach is not going to tolerate any of his bullshit.
No, well, now that he's in Pittsburgh, yeah, I mean, there's no question. Tom's going to be like, look, either you're going to do it or you're going to be out of here, So,
and he's got a sort of if he's modeled after anyone, a Roethlisberger is kind of the guy that he kind of is modeled after. He's not a running quarterback. We often mistake. He's African American, so he's a running quarterback. That's so dumb and racist. Like he's actually kind of more like a Roethlisberger. Like he can move if he needs to, but he's big and strong.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe he can be efficient there. I mean, that's the thing. Like people want to with social media and like people write these guys off. I can't wait till Daniel Jones burns everyone. I can't wait. I can't wait. The dude it was a big pick, but he's hyper intelligent. Because he's a goofy white guy that ran 90 yards and the fastest anyone ran in the league. He ran like 23 miles per hour and then he fell at the end. Okay, he fell. Big deal. Just wait. The guy's got Brady chops. Watch.
I'm going to pose one Giants question to you because the NFL draft's coming up. You got the 11th pick in the draft, and right around there, the talk has been maybe offensive lineman, maybe linebacker, maybe defensive back. I'm going to put you in the GM seat. You got the 11th pick. You know what this roster is. What position do you want to fill?
Look, I just think it's going to be. Look, they're not a trade back type of team. They've never done that. Even though they could use, they could use some extra picks. They could use some more picks, and it is a deep draft at wide receiver and skill position, so they could feasibly, trade back and still get more depth at skill positions like wide receiver. But dude, and I get it. Pitts has skyrocketed up the board. It was early talk like, oh, the Giants are going to steal this guy at 11. I love Pitts. He's like a Megatron kind of hybrid. Even though Ingram has underachieved, he's got a lot of talent. But you know, you can't drop the football. And last year was tough on everybody. But I think if you were able to throw Pitts in there, if he somehow landed, there's no way that they pass that guy up. No. But I think it's going to end up being Devontae Smith or Waddle, both the receivers out of Alabama. And people are going to criticize it because they signed all these guys. But look, man, Shepard is nearing the end of a contract. Slayton was a good late round pick. But where's he going to go? So I just think in this day and age, like if you have those kinds of skill position guys sitting there, you got to take them. Now everyone's going to want an edge rusher, but you're getting back Lorenzo Carter. You're getting back Jimenez there, number 53, O'Shane Jimenez, guys that were out all last year, both big edge rushers that you used picks on just the year before. Right. So, and you're going to bring in some vets and stuff. So I don't know. I think that they're going to end up taking a wide out, but I wouldn't hate it if they took Micah Parsons, that guy out of Penn State everyone is talking about. But what if he's LeVar Harrington, just kind of not great, and just kind of okay, So I think, you got to get guys to catch the ball and score touchdowns, and that's what we need. So I think the offensive line, round 2, you'll shore that up a little bit. And you're getting guys back healthy. They played much better the second half.
Right.
And, and with the coaching that they have, the Giants have the most coaches now in football. So this kid Judge, he lives in Wyckoff.
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Or Franklin Lakes is one of the two towns. And his daughter is on my daughter's soccer team, but she's on the she's on the B team. And my kid's on the A team, so there's that. But I saw him once at one game where they needed an extra player, so my daughter went down to play with them. Right. And he was there, and it was literally days after the fight incident with the coach in the middle of the season, and he was kind of hanging back. And he was on his phone, and it looked like he finally had a chance to kind of look at his phone. It was going into a bye week,
right?
And probably read Twitter, and it looked like he was just kind of like laughing to himself. He was probably reading all the crap online about the alleged punching incident. So.
I'm telling you something. You and I are going to have a long talk when you come down to the Jersey Shore this summer and talk more football.
We got a lot of shows coming up.
This is where we're going to get ready to wrap up. Yes, you are actually going to be part of the debut of 2 venues down. If you're in the Jersey area on the Jersey Shore this summer, Constantine will be playing. One of them is with the Shared Universe, and we have a working deal with the Bellworks in Homedale. We do some of our podcasts from Bellworks. We honor them. And this will be a rooftop show that Constantine will be doing. He will also be doing a new venue in Asbury Park that is opening up. They created a band shell on the roof of one of the buildings in Asbury. Very happy with the people at the Count Basie Theater and the Vogel are helping promote this. So you got 2 shows. Find out more at Constantine's website. So 2 opportunities on the Jersey Shore to see you live. So it must be fun to get back on the road.
Yeah, that's going to be June 9th and 10th. And I got this party band I started called The Frequency. I'm bringing them. We're going to play hit rock. Cool. My album will be available there. Maybe we'll play some of my tunes. But even though it's sort of a Broadway series, we're going to just rock out and play the hits, man. I mean, people just want to get back to seeing a band live again. So I'm going to play you everything from the Rock of Ages world all the way to Fallout boy. I mean, it's going to be, I have a ripping new kind of party band called The Frequency. I got this awesome girl, Megan, and the Penza brothers, and Paul, who's had an incredible career. He was actually touring with Nina, from 99 Red Balloons.
Oh God,
All through
yeah.
Europe with her, and he's played with everybody. So that's going to be fun. That's like my party band, and we have some shows. Memorial Day in Atlantic City, we're playing. We're playing
Cool.
4th of July down in Atlantic City. So there's a lot of shows coming up. So they're gonna. Some of them haven't been announced yet, but definitely stay tuned on social media and on my website for dates for sure. We'd love your support.
Absolutely. Follow Constantine on his social media platforms. And as we get ready to wrap up, the album that came out this summer is called Until I'm Wanted. Interesting sense of humor about Constantine. He created his own record label. The name of the record label was what now? Sixth Place Records?
Yes. Yes. That was, I put my first
Great
album
name.
out
That was like VJ. It was great.
Thank you. Yeah. Cause it's not like second place or third, it's sixth.
Yes.
And, yeah, I put my first record out, on that, but through Sony, but, and it's funny. That's when you sell like 25,000 copies in your first week. And that's when that was a failure then. Now, like anyone would take that, cause it's like 25,000. That's a fail. And it's like now, nobody sells albums. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. And this one I put out on Noble Steed. Noble Steed actually is my manager, Jason Spiewak, former president at Warner Brothers. It's his label, and so pretty excited. My single "All About You" has been getting full rotation at XM, Sirius XM, for like the last 6 months. It's insane. I don't know how that's even possible, but thank God. Those Sound Exchange royalties are keeping me afloat, and because I co-wrote that with Sam Hollander, big writer. And just, I'm very happy with the record. Until I'm Wanted is sort of my motto, like, don't stop believing. And, it's a name of one of the tunes on the record. And I think you guys will like it. It's like my love letter to rock and roll. And yeah, putting it out over the shutdown, not an ideal time, but excited that people are responding to it. And can't wait to put out more new music very soon, actually.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, though, Constantine. I mean,
It
it
was.
a long time to get it. It's like fans have been waiting for you to kind of like, okay, I know you had Broadway, you had all these things, but it's like to get back to your roots and kind of go, I'm going to do an album and get it out there. It's like, congratulations on that. And to defend your point really quick, the way the music industry is now, releasing it independently where maybe it would have been taboo 20 years ago, now it's more the commonplace because people don't realize the business of doing business. Sometimes it's easier to release it yourself, get more money per sale as opposed to the pennies that you're getting, and you have to sell more. That's what a lot of people I don't think realize. So nowadays, you're right. You sell 25,000 copies, you're sitting there going, hey, I'm happy with that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, for sure, man. And ultimately, you have to be ready to just basically give your music away for free and hope that it's commercial for people to come see you live, to support other projects where there is real revenue stream that you can support your art and your work with. And it's fun to I do a bunch of whatever appearances, whatnot. I'm doing one Memorial Day weekend before our show. I got really back into the sports and trading card hobby again. That's exploded. Obviously baseball, football, basketball, but everything from Pokemon to Star Wars and Planet of the Apes. There's so much that has really exploded. Cabbage Patch Kids. I mean, it's just unreal. So I'm doing an appearance the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend at the Garden State card show, and I'm gonna be showing my personal collection, some of it. But I'll be, selling the albums. It's still nice to have like hard copies, and people still love to pop in a CD, man. I mean, they sound great.
No, it's very true, very true.
And it's good times.
Good stuff, my friend. Thank you so much for the time this morning. I really appreciate it. I think we plugged everything we can plug. Go to Constantine's website. Keep on tuned to everything you need to know Constantine Maroulis. Thanks to his label, thanks to his manager, We do have a video that's been floating on YouTube. We have the tune Try. It's a great way to wrap up here. So you get to enjoy a little bit of live Constantine Maroulis. My friend, I will see you at one of the shows this summer for sure. Thanks so much.
That.
I would like that too, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rob. You're the best. And be safe, everyone. We're not totally through this yet. And
well said.
We are we're getting there, but have faith and get vaccinated.
I am fully vaccinated. Hence the reason why I look forward to this summer. I'm like going, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Man.
Still gonna be smart, but I'm looking forward to it. Let's wrap it up. Constantine Maroulis is the video for Try here on the A Game. Thanks for tuning in today.
All right.
Should've never come home. Smelled like a liar. Shouldn't have read my phone. You're playing with fire. Is this the curtain call? Or is there something higher? I'm not everything I wanna be. She makes me feel alive. She's everything I wish that we could be. And it makes me feel alive. So bitter is the taste, so comfortable in silence. Is the story of us something you wish to tell? She makes me feel alive. We'll give it one more try. Breathless, reckless, there's wholesome chaos. I am lost, I am lost, I am everything you are. I'm still alive. She's everything I wish that we could be.
Thanks again for watching the A Game this week. I'm glad you're still here because now I can tell you that I have a YouTube channel. Well, you actually may be watching it on the YouTube channel. So if you're not on my YouTube channel, subscribe to it now. If you are subscribed, thank you. Spread the love, share it, let everybody know why they should be subscribed to the A Game with Rob Acampora because you're having fun, right? Let people know. Please, don't make me beg.